Hey everybody, welcome back to another Destiny 2 fashion video. The day is finally here. We've got Transmog. It's popping off. It's a beautiful screen here. Show you guys sets from in the future. Gives you all the details really quick, and I can kind of detail things here really quickly. But that's not what we're doing today. We are counting down my first 20 transmogs for the Hunter. So the Warlock video is out, and I expect some people to be trickling in on that one pretty soon, and I want to get these other two out now while the iron's hot. Don't want to waste too much of your time, but if you're interested in Titan, just stick around, hit that subscribe button, and it'll be out soon, I promise. But today we're doing the Hunter. I got a nice little all black fit for you to start out with, but none of this stuff needs to be transmogged. It's all ornaments. So let's get into the ornaments. At number 20, we've got a lovely pair of boots that comes from the Europa set. A lot of nice little details here, nice little accents you can play off with other pieces of armor, and pretty slim leg overall that I really enjoy. Shades really well. Don't see too many things not changing besides these small little wires, but they're black and brown, so you're not going to notice them too much. I think they have a nice aesthetic, and I think I could fit these into a lot of really interesting sets in the future. So they barely squeaked in here at number 20. We have to exit that beautiful screen for a little bit because I don't have this cloak yet. The PYRRHIC ASCENT cloak. It's going to be really nice. I love the broad shoulders and the split cloak look. The hood in general has a lot of interesting accents and shaders extremely well. That's interesting. Really excited to get my hands on this cloak. It may get transmogged earlier than number 19. Just depends on when I get it, honestly. Definitely be holding on to a synth weave for this guy if I hit 19 and haven't gotten it yet. Let's hope we get some more armor in 3 and 5 wins this season. Coming in at 18, another cloak. With the Hunter, you're definitely going to see a lot of cloaks in my top 20. I think a lot of the arms, chest, and legs pieces that I really gravitate towards are ornaments I already have. But maybe you guys can let me know if there's some really cool arms, legs, or chests that you like that I miss here. But the number 18 spot goes the wing container. It has a really cool roughness to that bottom portion here. Shades pretty well. You can see some pretty large blocks of unshadable, like dark gray, but the rest of it does a really nice job of shadering. You get some interesting details near the hood, as well as some kind of quilted texture that you get with some shaders, but always there on this. I think you could do some pretty cool things with that metallic crown on the top. Not many hoods have a nice metal portion to the top layer of it like that. Oh my gosh, it's a pineapple. There you go, pineapple cosplay right here. First one to post it on Destiny Fashion. Good luck. Really cool hood and cloak though, and I think it'll go nice in a lot of the industrial or junkyard scavenger looks that I like to do a lot. For number 17, it's gonna be a cloak that I think sees a lot of use near the beginning of Transmog. Very unique look of having no cloak to the actual hood portion. With the new Eververse helmet too, this will give you a really nice completely cloakless Hunter look. But if you don't have that and you want to see the back of your Hunter, this is a good option, and definitely going to be in my top 20 somewhere. I think it's going to be near the end though, just because I'm not prioritizing this kind of look, but you do get this cool like biker aesthetic in the Lux boots and chest piece, as well as these Intrepid gauntlets. I've got number 16 as the Perfectus mask. There's a nice job of getting a really dark look in the helmet. If you get a bigger hood, you can get kind of a faceless Hunter look, but it also has some utility in getting some interesting color accents as well. And I think it has a nice kind of daunting blind Hunter look. Really cool vibe in my opinion. Like, the hunter's so powerful it doesn't need to see anymore. With number 15, I have actually a very similar aesthetic to the helmet as the last one, a wing contender, and with the tangled bronze shader, it gives you this really creepy like open mouth look. You can get some other shaders that give you a pretty dark look as well if you want it to be more of a faceless hunter kind of look. And then if you want a really nice metal texture, there's a lot of different shaders that can accomplish that for you as well. Really cool mask. I think complements a lot of cloaks very well. Number 14, we got the first of the Iron Banner helmets. Maybe that's a little hint to what's to come, but this is probably my least favorite of the Iron Banner helmets, the Iron Chewage Cask. It has a really cool mouth. It doesn't shader very well, that gold there. It doesn't change ever, but you can work around it pretty well. So no faceless hunter, but if you're into some color pops, you can get this mouth bloody red like this and give you some nice white and gold accents. And this is a really cool look in my opinion, and why it's found itself in the top 20 in general. But yeah, not my favorite of the Iron Banner masks, but it has a lot of really cool details. So another really great helmet, that Ginsum Knight Cask, looks really good with his heavily shadowy cloak here, but even with some cloaks down, it's a really nice silhouette, as you can see here. The Lux hood on, nice detail on the back, but really nice head-on shot with this helmet. I love the pattern you get too. In certain lights it really pops. The Titan Ginsum Knight helmet does really similar things, but you can get the outer edges pretty dark, or shaded in the way you like. That visor does not change colors though. Be cool if they updated to get these like swirls and patterns to change colors with your shader, but I don't know if we will see that happen. And here we have one of my favorite cloaks in the game, probably the Tangled Web cloak. You get this really cool fallen house symbol, as well as some nice fur in the top and this big scarf. A lot of cool details in this, very similar to the Coyote's cloak. If you have that already, you may want to skip this, but I personally find the differences to be enough to get this guy into the top 20. Shaders a little more solidly, and sometimes you don't want that as ragged look to the cloak as that Coyote cloak does have. Really nice shadering with this set, this cloak. Really like this one a lot. Next up on the list, another cloak. It's kind of the name of the game for the hunter, like I said. It's the Prodigal cloak. Really cool cloak. Nice tatteredness. Got this giant radio up near the shoulder. It gives you some nice detail. Kind of pulls off the face, so you're gonna want some kind of detailed helmet, in my opinion. You're not gonna do faceless with this. Shaders pretty well. It does have a little bit of unshaderable bits. If you do not like the radio here, you do have the option to do the Opulent Stalker cloak. It's pretty much the exact same, but you take off that giant radio. Still has that unshaderable bit, sadly, so that's not going to give you any refuge. But I actually kind of like the detail of the radio. It adds a little character, a little something different to the back there. But I can see that's not being for everybody, so Opulent Stalker might be the way to go for you. Number 10, entering the top 10 pieces of armor here, we got the first chest piece as well, the Vest of the Exile. Got this from last season trials. If you didn't get it, I'm still hoping they start adding last season or last year, I guess, trials armor into the random drops after the matches. I don't know if they'll do that, but I have all the armor and I'm just hopeful that they do it, just so people can get it and to give us something to grind for, just between the 3 and 5 and 7 wins. But we'll see if they do that. If you did get it, I think this is a great armor piece. A lot of cool straps and details in the midsection, and a nice giant piece of metal for you to shader and play around in the top of the chest piece. As you can see, shaders super well, and I really enjoy this chest piece. Hope they do something with it soon. With number 9, we're doing the Prodigal Strides. These are just a pretty simple piece of leg armor that I really like. Has a little bulkier silhouette than the Lux Strides, so I thought they might fill out some sets that end up a little bulkier, like the one you see right here, and make the Lux Strides look a little thin. I really like these. They have a nice simple aesthetic, a lot of cloth, so they shade pretty similarly throughout. Get nice little accents of color near the bottom, but for the most part, you're not going to see anything too hard to shader or match between. But also, it's pretty easy to separate those colors out if you want to add some more depth to the sets. With number 8, we're going to have another cloak. Not one the Faceless Hunter only crowd's going to enjoy. It does come up pretty close to the forehead, but one that someone that likes color will probably enjoy a lot. It's the Fargon hood. You get this nice pattern near the back and on the side of the head that shaders actually. When I first saw this, I just immediately assumed that wouldn't shade, but it does. And it has a nice contrast to a lot of the different shaders. Pretty simple hood otherwise. Also really interestingly short hood, so you could play off of that. If you had some more detailed boots in the back, these Prodigal boots don't do a bad job of filling that actually as well. Getting into some of my favorites of the favorites now. We got the Wild Hunt cloak, just the base seasonal armor from last season, but that hoodless look with that really raggedy vibe does a great job of filling out the collection, in my opinion. You have the hoodless cloaks, like the Lux cloak, but it has a more pristine and elegant look to it, while this gives you that nice rough scavenger look whenever you get a good helmet that can withstand not having the hood, like this Tangleweb mask, for example. Another great pair of gloves actually come in here from the Trials set, the Grips of the Exile. I think these gloves do a lot better job than I initially thought when they came out, filling out these highly detailed but kind of broad-shouldered sets. I love this big blade on the left arm with a nice cobra coming out on the hilts. Really cool look to it, and they shader really well. I've employed them in a lot of different looking sets to a lot of success, and I think they're definitely deserving of this nearly top spot. Speaking of that Trials armor, we got the Boots of the Exile. These are a pair of boots that I've actually been gravitating towards a lot lately. Obviously before Transmog I just had them on normally, but now I can put them on a better rolled piece of gear actually, and I really like the aesthetic. Got some cool sun pattern right above that left knee, but also a lot of wraps throughout. A lot of detail near the knee, which is where the boots kind of like Prodigal Strides, like I showed a second ago, kind of fail. They have a pretty hard cutoff between the boot and the upper leg. But these boots have a lot of detail that actually help transition that a little better, and such different shader zones all over it too. Like here is actually metal shader zone. They can really tie a lot of, you know, different armor pieces in the top of the set all together in that same bottom half, while only being the legs in the set, which is not a lot of piece of legs can do, in my opinion. Number 4 is a helmet that I wore for maybe 3 seasons in a row before I really got into the YouTube part of fashion, when I was just making sets for myself. The Iron Remembrance cast. I just fell in love with this helmet. I'm not sure really even why. I mean, it is a simple, clean helmet, and a lot of shaders give you this nice depth of color behind that grill, where it's kind of a mesh look. can play off that really well, I think, and just really easy to shader. I mean, a lot of interesting looks can come off of this and inspired me a lot. I'm gonna be really happy to get this one as a ornament, and I may not use it as much as I did in that seasons past, but I feel like I kind of owe it for carrying me through so much fashion right when I was really getting into it. At number 3, we've got another cloak, a really cool cloak that I actually didn't even really appreciate until I started making this video. And so hopefully this finds you in a similar circumstance where you didn't know about it. The Kairos Function Cloak. It was the old Mercury world loot. Really nice aesthetic to this. Shaders really well. Get that all black that stays, but that kind of just helps you add a nice, interesting accent with the rest of the cloak. Get these really interesting, like teeth-like accents on that one side of the cloak, and giving you a nice split of color from the front. Really cool cloak, actually. Super underrated, and I hope people see this video, if not just for this cloak. Definitely a sleeper in the community. But expect a set from me soon with this guy. Really nice, excellent cloak, and deserving a number 3. So just wanted to do a few honorable mentions here. I mean, I wouldn't blame a lot of people for just cranking out a bunch of cloaks as their first transmogs. I've showed all my favorites here already, but some of the other cool ones I like are like the Wildwood Cloak. Gypsum Knight actually has this really cool pattern on the back. It stays white. If you like a white cloak, that might not be the best for you. It does have this weird colored visor that doesn't shade. Probably the main reason I don't like this cloak as much. I love that pattern though. If you like this really covered face look with the braid tag winter cloak, it's some interesting patterns, but like a really obscured face, which can look really cool if you focus and play off of it well. Honestly, the main thing holding back the Aberrant Imperative Cloak is how it sits on the helmets. As you can see there, I mean, it just kind of looks weird. It sits a little high. If they brought down the front to cover more of the middle of the face, I think that'd be really nice. You can shader pretty well, but it also has that unshaderable yellow. Kind of a tough cloak to work with, but I could see it fit in some people's aesthetic really well. One of my favorite cloaks in the game actually right now is this Legacy Oath cloak, but since it's in this most recent raid and sunsetting's gone, I don't really have a reason to transmog it. It's just going to be a cloak that I can always pull up, and that's definitely something you should think about when you start transmogging these cloaks. If you can just get one that's unsunsetted, you don't really need to transmog it unless you just have your set of cloaks that you're always going to actually use, you know, masterworked up and everything. Then I guess I could see that, but for me that's not really the case, so that's the only reason I'm not including this one, even though I love it a lot. I think the Ancient Apocalypse cloak also deserves a mention. Really cool big cobra on the back, if you're into that. Doesn't shader very well, and not a huge fan of the front of the cloak, but you know, if this is something you're really into, it might be worth it. Another interesting cloak that, you know, could be a nice little sweaty cloak is the Sly Cloak, the green. Shaders pretty well on like its you know, similar looking hood of Tally's, but also has a nice little pattern on the side while giving you a kind of obscured face. Not a bad cloak. You might want to check it out if you like it a little bit here in this preview. Could be just something different, you know, something to set yourself apart from a lot of the other people. But without further ado, let's get into the number 2 spot. It's this Be Thy Guide cloak. Really cool cloak that we haven't been able to actually use in a while. Got some really nice gradients. So there's gonna be a lot of cool shaders. If you just find a color you like, it'll make a gradient out of it. And I really appreciate that. I think it gives you a lot of depth and color, And number one, to close it all out and to actually start where I'm gonna start, is the Iron Fellowship Casque. A just beautiful helmet. Has been my Faceless Hunter before Faceless Hunter was cool for the longest time, and a helmet I gravitated to a lot. As I hinted at before, I really like these Iron Banner helmets. They all kind of give you a maybe similar look, but accomplish it in just completely different ways, and I really appreciate that. This helmet here looks good even in the hoodless variety. Some interesting kind of scales in the back. I do wish this visor shaded a little darker even, but overall really cool look, and really excited to get this helmet available to me at all times. If there's any armor that you thought I should have included in my top 20, let me know. I haven't spent any of my synthweaves yet, as you can see, so you can save me from missing out. I think it's worthy of note, I do not have this cloak, which could be pretty cool if you're into this aesthetic. The cloak of FELTROC from the Spire. I'm also missing the Shadow's mask, sadly. I literally have Shadow on this account, and just never got this helmet, sad, and I kind of gave up, to be honest. Really nice helmet that I think I would transmog in the top 20 if I had it. Really cool, like, robot human exo kind of look, but you know, RNG be RNG, so you know, maybe you want to squeeze that into your top 20 if you have that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you found some guidance through this. There's definitely a lot of good armor on Hunter, and it'll probably be the longest for the longest class that I'll actually need to engage with the whole synth chord, synth weave system. I've got up to like 51 or so pieces that I was just interested in general. So yeah, most of the other classes I think were like around 40 each. So definitely Hunter going to be like one more season of engaging with this at least. But so it was kind of hard to pick that top 20, and I think some must-haves actually did slip over to that top 30, sadly. So next season I'll have all my must-haves sorted out. Let me know what you think of the video, and if you're excited for Titan, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next fashion video. See ya.